Jason Sinclair was the epitome of a rich playboy. With his family's vast fortune, he lived a life many envied. Expensive cars, luxurious parties, and a never-ending stream of beautiful women who sought his attention. Jason wasn't concerned with love. To him, relationships were temporary, just fleeting pleasures to fill the empty spaces between his lavish getaways. He never questioned his lifestyle, until one evening, after a wild celebration at his penthouse, he found himself staring out the window at the city lights. As the alcohol began to wear off, a strange thought crept into his mind. What if no one truly cared about him? What if all these women were just after his money? He had always assumed that love would come to him, naturally, as part of his glamorous life. But deep down, he began to wonder, did anyone love him for who he was, or only for his wealth? Determined to find out, Jason made a bold decision. He would test his relationships. He would reach out to the many women he had dated over the years, but with a twist. This time, he would tell them the truth, he had no money. The next morning, Jason sat at his desk, his fingers hovering over the phone. He thought about all the women he had been with, gorgeous models, ambitious actresses, and socialites all vying for his attention. One by one, he reached out to them. He sent a simple message to each, "Hey, I need to talk. I've lost all my money. I'm not the guy I used to be. Can we meet?" He waited. It didn't take long for the first response to come. It was from Amber, a sultry model he had casually dated for a few months. She immediately called him, her voice dripping with disbelief. "What's going on, Jason? Are you serious?" she asked, laughing. "You've lost everything? I can't believe this. I don't think I can be seen with someone like you now. I'm sorry." And just like that, she hung up. He didn't expect much else. But more messages started flooding in, each one more dismissive than the last. Some mocked him outright. Others blocked him, unwilling to entertain his desperation. Every single one of them, except one, laughed at him. The women who had once been so interested in his wealth now seemed to vanish, like dust in the wind. Jason's heart sank. He had expected some rejection, sure, but not so much laughter. Not so much cruelty. All these women, he realized, had been only after his wealth. Just as he was about to give up, his phone buzzed again. This time, it was a different name, Mia. She had always been different. They'd met at a charity event, where she didn't seem impressed by his fame or fortune. She had a kindness in her eyes that none of the other women seemed to possess. They had shared a few pleasant conversations over dinner, and Jason had always admired her quiet confidence. Her message was simple, "Sure, let's meet. I'll be at the usual place in an hour." Jason's heart fluttered. Mia. She was the one woman who never cared about